I'm Amy.
I'm Laura.
And we are Two Paper Girls.
We're back with another Top 5 Wednesday, and this week's topic's quite a juicy one. It's your top 5, or I suppose least favourite 5 books you just never want to read. It's quite a controversial one, but we're not going to apologise for our opinions, because everyone on BookTube's always like, I'm so sorry if you love these books. Like, if you love them, then that's great, but we don't want to read them.
My number 5 is the actual, not this one, it is the sequel to this one by Cassandra Rose Clark called The Pirate's Wish. I read this because I was quite excited about it. I really like the cover and I like the idea of the story. It's set in a desert, it's about an assassin, and it was just a bit of a poor man's thrown a glass. So I don't really want to read the sequel. I don't think I ever will.
My number 5, I might change my mind on, but right now it's just a series I have no interest in, despite all the hype, and that's The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. It just seems really weird. Everyone's got weird names, and I've just heard like kind of mixed things from people's reviews that I trust as well, and I just don't have an interest on joining on this hype. I don't know if I ever will. Maybe if someone does a really good review where they describe it and I'm like, oh, that actually sounds good. But the minute everything I've heard, it just doesn't sound like something I'd like.
My number 4 is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I just can't get into a trilogy right now. I haven't got the commitment, I haven't got the time. And I'm reading quite a few fantasy books at the minute, so I don't want to like over fantasy myself. So it's not really anything against this book in particular, because I picked it up and I do really like the cover. And maybe one day I will actually get round to reading it, but it's just pushed so far back in the pile, I may as well never read it at this point in time.
My number 4 is The Can You Awaken Z by J.K. Rowling. She is my queen, and I always have said like she's an auto-buy author, like I'll buy anything, I'll read anything she does. Apart from this one, because I'm quite interested in her crime thing. Obviously any Harry Potter stuff I will just like soak up and absorb. But I tried reading this when it came out, and I read it because it was her, and it seems like quite an adult book with very like what I currently find boring topics, and I just don't. I got like halfway through it. Oh, my bookmark's even gone. Got halfway through. It was okay, but I just had no idea. There was too many characters. It's been made into a BBC drama, so I might just watch that. I just have no interest in reading this at all, and I don't know if I ever will.
And my number 3 is actually a joint number 3. Ironically, it is Percy Jackson by Rick Riordan. Just don't care. I just don't really want to know. Percy Jackson, like, it just seems a bit childish now, if I'm honest. I don't know if I'll ever pick these up because of that reason. As much as Logan Lerman is kind of gorgeous, I don't think I'll go back to the films or the book.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed the films, and that made me even less interested in the books, because everyone's like, oh, the films are awful, the books are so much better, but I kind of got a bit of the story, and I enjoyed the films quite a lot, and not just because of Logan Lerman. I like the story, I quite like the Greek myths, but I really don't like books written for a younger audience. I've realised I just don't float my boat at all, so I don't want to read like a book aimed for a 10-year-old. I even struggle with the early Harry Potter books now, and I just don't want to read a really long series written for kids. That's just, I just don't care.
My number 2 is the Bloodline series by Richelle Mead. Apparently it's a spin-off from the Vampire Diaries, which I've never been interested in either. Like, from Twilight, vampires just never appeared to me. I even tried to get into Supernatural, and I just got put off because it's just so long. And it's just, Bloodlines just seems so long as well. And like, I'm haunted by the cover of, you know, the girl on the front and she's looking over her shoulder. Yeah. I just can't stand the thought of reading these books ever.
My number 2 is the Golden Compass Northern Lights series by Philip Pullman. We were just reminiscing about how long I've had this book, because this was a World Book Night copy. So an English teacher in year 10, which is a horrible amount of long time ago, was like, oh, does anyone want this? You know, you meant to read and pass it on. So I was like, yeah, I'll have it. It's been like 5 years and I still haven't read it. And I never have the inclination to pick it up. I haven't even seen the film. It just looks weird. It's just polar bear riding, and it's just weird, and I don't understand the titles, like the Amber Spyglass, and I have an irrational hatred for this series and I just don't want to. And like Percy Jackson, my boyfriend's got all these books. If I do change my mind, I can borrow them off him, but I'm getting rid of this and Percy Jackson soon because it's just not going to happen.
My number 1 is Rainbow Rowell. We're going to just defeat the idea now that I'm going to give Rainbow Rowell another chance, because I read Fangirl and I absolutely hated it, and everyone's like, how did you hate Fangirl? And I'm just like, how did you not hate Fangirl? When it just goes around in this circle of no one has actually any idea of, I just don't care. I just say every video I talk about Rainbow Rowell, I'm just like, I'll give it another chance. I might like her, and then I'm just like, nah, that's just a blatant lie.
My number 1 is any book by Colleen Hoover, and kind of like Amy's irrational hatred towards Rainbow Rowell, I irrationally hate Colleen Hoover. I haven't read any books by her, and overall they're quite popular, and I'm quite interested in the new adult genre because, you know, 20, I want to stop reading about 16-year-olds and read about something a little bit steamy sometimes. But from what I can gather from people's reviews and hype, a lot of her books are about, like, a lot of them seem badly written and about people cheating on people, and I'm like, I'm not interested in that. That's just a horrible thing to read about, like, oh yeah, I love my boyfriend, but look how hot this guy is. It's like, no, that's just, don't float my boat. And the one called Slam just seems like a really boring, like, court trial. I'm just not interested. And also Witty, it's called a Witty. Whitney from Witty Novels also doesn't really like these books, and I trust her reviews when it comes to like the steamy stuff because I love Shatter Me, and she seems to have a good opinion on new adult type things, and I'm just not interested.
So is Rod, top 5, top 10 most hated, well not, no most hated, books we'll never read ever. So yeah, don't hate us please. They're just our opinions. If you love these books, then good for you.
Good for you. But nah. Let us know down below which books you never want to read. Hopefully some of the books we love, so we can, like, you know, have a nice little discussion, but not try and convince each other. Just like share opinions. That'd be nice. And we will see you on the next video. Bye. I had a weird moment then when you said I'm Amy. I'm like, no, you're not. I am Amy.